Hi everyone, this tutorial video is going to show you how to use Jamboard. Jamboard's a cool interactive whiteboard that you might be using with your teacher, or your teacher might ask you to do an assignment on as well. So I'm going to show you two ways to get there. The first one is going to be through D2L. So if your teacher created an assignment in Jamboard, they'll most likely have a link on here where you can click it and it will go to Jamboard. The other option is if you go click the plus button up top to add a new tab. Jamboard is going to be in your waffle menu for Google. And if you scroll down there, you can see Jamboard. It's a big symbol. It looks like a J. And you click on it, and it's going to take you right to Jamboard. So Jamboard kind of looks like a Google Doc when you get into it, where you can share it, you can make multiple ones, and it goes in your Google Drive. So I'm going to go to the Jamboard that was provided by this teacher first. So I'm going to click on it. And it's going to ask me to make a copy. You might get that we've had before where they force a copy, so you have your own copy to work with. And here's the Jamboard. So I'm going to show you via this assignment on how you can do certain things, but I'll take you through all the tools so you can use it at home. So first off, a Jamboard may have multiple slides. It's kind of like a slideshow. They're called frames, and when I click, I can add new frames if I want to. So the teacher may provide an assignment that they preload for you, or it might just be start a new jam and you have a blank slate. The first off, if I'm on a blank slate, you can change the background. So if it's a writing assignment, maybe you want some lines in there, maybe you want to change the colors, totally up to you. And your teacher will provide instructions on what you can do, or they might just give you some freedom to create your own. In here are your tools on the side. So there's a whole lot of tools here that we can use when we're creating our Jamboard. So the first one is a pen tool, and if I click on it 2 times, it opens up the different types of pens. So there's a highlighter and you have a couple colors. You don't have a ton of colors, just some as an option. So I'm going to click on the pen, and when I write things, it just writes what I say. So I'm clicking my mouse as I do this. If you have a touch screen though, you can also use a touch screen. If I go back, I can change colors. This is just a highlighter tool. So I can use a green, and the highlighter tool goes over things. So it doesn't go on it right over top. It's going to let you see through it. And if I make a mistake, we all know our favorite button up here called the undo. So I'll undo, and the last thing goes away. The other tool you have here is an eraser. Now I won't lie, the eraser is really small. You get this little wee circle, and when you do that, you have to kind of like trace where you're going all along. If it's a big major mistake like I make often, sometimes I'll just go up top to this clear frame, and that's going to just wipe out the whole frame. Remember, if you didn't want to do that, you made a mistake, don't worry. We just undo it and we bring things back. The next tool down here, this is your select tool. So once I put something on the screen besides a drawing, we'll use this tool to move things around. Let's go next to the sticky note. A sticky note is exactly what it sounds like. It's a big sticky note that goes on your page. So you can write on a sticky note, you can change the color, and then you can save it. Once you hit save, that sticky note goes on. I'm going to cancel the next one I'm on. And that sticky note is movable. So because now I have an object here, I can make it larger, smaller, I can turn it around if I need to. On a sticky note, you also have the 3 little dots, so I can go back in and I can edit it. So if I didn't want to say hello, or I forgot punctuation, whatever, I can go back in and edit it through the 3 little dots on the sticky note. Then you can also delete it and duplicate it right up here. Next up, we have the picture tool. So you can add an image onto the screen. So when I click Add Image, you're going to notice it looks exactly like a Google Doc or a Google Slide on how you can get pictures on. You can either upload from your own computer. You can do a Google image search right from here. If you have pictures in your Google Drive, it'll take you to your Google Drive. And then it also has things like pictures that are shared with me from your drive. I'm going to hit the backspace. And then it does connect to Google Photos as well. So I'm just going to do a Google image search. And the assignment was about cereal, so I'm going to type in cereal. There we go. Let's put in some Chips Ahoy. And I click on the picture I want, and then I hit select. And that image will go in. And once again, notice you have all those tools, the resizing tools, the 3 little dots, all those things, so you can move things around. The next tool below is just simply a shape tool. So if I wanted to make a shape, I click it 2 times, and it will give me different types of shapes I can make. I'm going to grab the rectangle, and I'm going to click my mouse and drag it over to make whatever size rectangle I want. And then I have a couple more options here. Up top here, I've got the border color, so I want to change that. And I also have a fill color. so I can change the inside of that as well. And of course, look, I've got my little dots here on the corners. I can resize shapes a little differently because I make them skinny or longer. And I also have the 3 little dots here where I can duplicate and make multiple shapes. So maybe I'm making math counters. Next up, I have a text box. A text box is just like it sounds. When I click on the T, I click somewhere, and then I can type right in there like a text box. So it's different than a sticky note because a sticky note goes on a big sticky. This one is just text. It goes in there like that. And once again, I can resize it that way. But if you look up top, I have a couple options when I have a text box. I can change the size right away. I have a couple different options. If I go display, that's super big. If I go to subtitle, it makes it smaller. I can also go in and change that text color as well. And if I had lots of words in there, if I had a really big box in here talking, this is called the justification. I can align things and I can make it go into the center. Then this one down here, this is called a laser. This is really more of a teaching tool, but if you're presenting this to the class or showing something else, maybe you're going to use a laser because this is what the laser does. It's really cool. I can hold down my mouse and run around and it disappears. So if I'm doing a presentation, remember this could be virtually, and I'll say, so if you look over the Chips Ahoy symbol here and I can use my laser, it's not going to ruin your page. It's just going to show up for a little bit and then disappear. So those are all the tools you can use in a Jamboard. Now, when you're done with the Jamboard, sometimes you might want to share this back to your teacher or others. It has share options in here, just like Google Drive. So depending on how your teacher wants to receive this, you might be actually putting their name up here and sharing it with them just like a Google Doc or slideshow. Or you might be going in to get the link. So you can copy the link right here. You can see it's restricted to only people in the DSBN. So that's the one I usually use. So you could just copy the link and post that link to the assignments or however your teacher wants to receive that. Finally, there's 3 little dots up here that say more actions. In here, I can do a couple things too. So right now this is on the Jamboard. I could rename it, but I could also download it in 2 different ways. I can download this as a PDF, which just means it's kind of like a piece of paper. So if I download this, it's going to save it as a paper, but it's going to save all my frames as well. So there you can see it's downloading down there. So when I click on it, this is what my Jamboard looks like. So here's that first page that the teacher gave me. If I scroll down, there's a page I was working on. And then, of course, there's that blank page there. So maybe I'm submitting the assignment this way. Once again, that'll be up to your teacher. And then the other thing you can do is you can even save it as a picture, which is really cool. And it only saves this frame. So that's totally up to you what you want to do. Or you could remove it or make a copy. Those are your other options in there. So that's how you use Jamboard, and I hope you enjoy using it, and you're probably going to see that sometime throughout the year.